I wanted to talk about my habits over the last 2 months or so that I've found have been really slipping, and I just wanted to talk about some things that I've started implementing, I guess about 2 days ago now, that are going to help me get back on track. And then I'll check in about a month and let you know how they are going. First, I want to say hi, my name is Kiana. I am following a low-fat, whole foods, plant-based diet, and I've been doing that for about 3 years, but I've really struggled on and off for the last 10-15 years or so with binge eating, and it really affects my life in a lot of ways. And I don't necessarily consider myself a binge eater anymore. I definitely have these tendencies that once I sort of let a few different foods sneak into my diet, I sort of just think, oh, what the hell, and then I just kind of throw in the towel, and then I just really want to just continue eating. And I find that if I eat something really sweet or really salty or something like that, then that kind of just leaves me for wanting more and more, and I have a really hard time stopping after that. So I've been really simplifying my foods. I've been watching a lot of Chelsea May Cullen's videos, and she, over the last few months, has really just simplified her meals and has found a lot of success from that. So I decided that I'm going to stick to 3 core meals that I don't even need to think about. I barely even need to cook half the time. Okay, this is honestly not the most appealing looking breakfast, but I think it'll keep me really full. So let's just try it out, whatever. Simple food, let's go. Okay, so I just finished that, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it was really good. I really liked eating the oatmeal with that much water. I thought that it was super filling. I'll be honest with you, that is the hardest part for me, is leaving food on my plate. Like, even if that is just a few bites, I honestly, normally I would just eat that without even thinking. I was getting so full, it was starting to thicken up. I definitely like that method of cooking with more water. I'm sure some of you also struggle with just feeling like you need to finish everything on your plate. Like, oh my gosh, I struggle with that so much. Even though I'm full, I just am like, oh, there's a few more bites, I'll finish. But really, I can just leave this on the counter and I can just eat it in an hour when I'm hungry or I want something. I don't need to finish it and then feel super stuffed and tired and sluggish after my meals. I can just eat until I'm full, and that's just something I'm trying to practice right now, because you're really just increasing the volume of the food. And the second meal that I've been having every single day is basically just a pre-cooked Japanese sweet potato. I find those keep me really full and satisfied, and because they're sweet, they're giving me that kind of sweet craving that I'm looking for. And I will usually have it with a side of veggies, and then that's it. I don't even need to think about it. And then for snacks, I'll have usually an apple. I find that apples help really fill my stomach. Sometimes I'll even have 2. And then for dinner, it's the same thing. It's either a rice or potato, and then just a buttload of different veggies. And I'm just kind of experimenting with that, and I'm finding that, yeah, I just don't even really have those intense cravings. It's kind of, I notice the issue is when I start to go in the fridge, and then I'm kind of like, Dr. Tanya Lyons has these interviews with Dr. Doug Lisle. It's really great. I'll link it below. I've been watching the whole series, but she has this term that she defines as the prowl, and I totally relate. Like, when I feel like I'm on the prowl, that typically happens when I've, I'm bored, I'm looking for that like rush of dopamine. Maybe I'm in the middle of work or something, and I'm like, I could just use something sweet. So then I go in the fridge, I grab a date, I grab some nut butter, I put it on the date with some salt, maybe a few nuts here and there, and then before you know it, I've had like 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. And then comes after dinner, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a couple more. I just want something sweet. And I would never tell anyone not to eat that, but like me, I've noticed that that's just a lot of extra calories and sugar, and I'm not eating because I'm hungry at that point. And yes, I do believe we all deserve treats, but for me, it just gets really out of control very quickly. And then those treats, I guess you could call them, end up sort of turning into another treat and another treat, and then I'm like, oh, I've already screwed up, so why don't I just have a bowl of granola? Or, yeah, it's healthy, but by the end of the day, I'm so full, I'm so stuffed, I'm sluggish, I'm mad at myself. Then the next day, I don't want to go to the gym. It's just very stressful. It feels like it takes up a lot of mental space. So I just really like focusing on simple meals. I don't need to spend a lot of time cooking or prepping. My prep is basically just put some potatoes or rice in the Instant Pot. A lot of times I cook with frozen veg. Other aspect that I've really been struggling with is movement. But I have some sort of goal, and I've been outside long enough that I can feel that endorphin rush and just the mental clarity that walking outside with the dog gives me. Increase my NEAT, which, if you don't know, is an acronym that stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which just means throughout the day you're burning calories by standing, by cleaning the house, by just walking around, gardening, different activities that you might do throughout the day that aren't necessarily you breaking a sweat trying to have a hard workout. You're basically just burning calories throughout the day by increasing your movement overall. Just noticed that over the last couple months, I've been spending a lot of time just like lying in bed, not really doing a whole lot, just feeling very sluggish, very tired, and it's just really not helping me progress. Becoming a better person, just becoming a stronger, better, healthier version of myself. That is kind of been my motto for the last year, is just becoming a better version of myself. One other thing that I am going to be taking away from Dr. Tanya Lyons is she has this idea that if you mark down on a calendar, it sounds so simple, but when you're a kid, your teacher would give you like a smiley face on your name or something. If you did something good in class or you helped out a friend or something like that, you would get a sticker. You would get some sort of prize. And I find that even as adults, it sounds silly, but that could actually be really helpful. I've seen this a bunch of times in different ways. But basically, Dr. Tanya Lyons showed this calendar in one of those lectures that for a very long time, months and months, while she was losing her weight, she lost more than half of her body weight now. She really turned her life around. And she showed a calendar that every day she kind of knew, there weren't like set rules, but she kind of knew by the end of the day, like, was it a good day or a bad day? Like, did you stick to the plan or not? And she would put a little smiley face on every day. So I've started doing that, and I think it's just a fun little way to track your progress. I think, the first check mark, the second check mark, you're kind of like, but once you start building up the momentum and every day you can go and reward yourself with a little check mark, like that really shows a display of how hard you've been working, and over time you will see progress. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, and I'm really terrible at remembering this myself, but I just want to think about how I would talk to myself if, for example, if I was talking to a friend and they were going through what I've been going through and not really been on top of their game and really fallen off their habits. I wouldn't be putting them down and telling them they're a failure or they're not good enough or they're never going to reach their goals. Like, you have to really think about how you talk to yourself, and I'm really bad for this. I tend to put myself down a lot, and I know it's very easy to feel like you're not good enough or it's just hopeless, the goal is too far away, but I think that's when it's really important to have a very strong why. I said I want to inspire other people and show people that they can overcome this binge eating. I know I have. It's kind of a lifelong process. And if you can figure out what about your way of eating kind of holds you back from reaching your goals, I think you can definitely get there. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about my journey. If you are interested in following along on this road that I am embarking on, please like and subscribe and write in the comments if you find any of my story relatable at all, and if you're also on a path to trying to become the best version of yourself. please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe we can help each other out. And I hope you enjoyed some of the footage of the meals I was making today. Again, I make things very, very simple. I'm not looking to make gourmet meals. This isn't really going to be a recipe channel. It's going to be more so just how to keep staying on track. And typically for me, that's meant I can't spend hours in the kitchen. It's got to be something quick that I can eat, and I don't need to think about it anymore. So I can fill my time with other things that I love doing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, talk to you soon.